that being said, welcome back to the Save Ourselves podcast. This is your host Delani. Um, long time no see. This is our second episode, Christ the King wise, and what better person to bring onto the next episode than Christ the King's one of the best coaches out west, one of the best coaches Christ the King has brought into. We got Troy Cadwell, man. What's the word?
How you doing, man? It's good to see you.
Good to see you
It's
too,
good to see
man.
you. Always good to see former student athletes, man, doing well. I'm really, really proud of you. Really proud of you.
I appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
But it's about you today, man. This is
Uh-huh.
gonna keep it like that. Speaking a lot of stuff about you, just give us a little insight of um, who you are, how you grew up, and what got you into basketball.
Yeah. Appreciate that. Well, who I am, I'm a father, coach, husband. Uh, I'm a family man in that regard. I'm an individual, who loves the Lord, and tries to live by those mandates. Uh, how I got into coaching. My origins, I'm from Kankakee, Illinois.
Okay.
That's where I'm from, born and raised. Played high school ball there. Got a chance to play college ball at Aquinas College in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Um, yeah, and that's my early roots in basketball and learning the game. All that all comes from my hometown, playing there, which produced a lot of great players, in that area that kind of helped groom and shape me and mold me as far as basketball is concerned. I was a three-sport athlete in high school, so I played football, basketball, and baseball. The funny part about it is that football was my first love. Right? That was my
Mm-hmm.
first love. That was my first love, football. Basketball um, really became a passion of mine after I finished school, after I finished playing. I always had a passion for the game, but the coaching bug hit me right after I finished, playing college ball when I graduated. So I had the unique opportunity to coach in Chicago. My first coaching job was afforded to me by one of my mentors, Coach Ron Ashlaw, who is the head varsity coach at Waukegan High School currently. He gave me my first opportunity here in Chicago. I went back home and did a little coaching at my alma mater, assistant JV coach, freshman coach, things of that nature. But then when I migrated and moved to Chicago on the South Side, I got my first opportunity at the University of Chicago Lab School, the lab
Okay.
school on the South Side of Chicago in the heart of Hyde Park. So I coached there for a year as the junior varsity coach, unbeknown to me that the next year I become the head varsity coach there, right? So I coached there for 1 year as junior varsity. Coach Ashlaw left and went to Waukegan, where he is currently. And I was afforded the opportunity to be the head varsity coach at the University of Chicago Lab School. I was at the lab school for around 6 years. Um, Made a lot of great people, a lot of people who were instrumental in my growth and development as a coach and in my career in that regard. I was afforded the opportunity to uh, win the school first regional championship in school history at the University of Chicago Lab School. So we were the first men's basketball program to win a regional championship there. We were the first. I was honored to have the first scholar athletic scholarship Division I player to come out of lab school. That was Zeke Upshaw, who ended up playing at Illinois State University, who had untimely death. Got a chance to play in the G League, but had untimely death, and they have a foundation in his name, and things of that nature. But a really good young man who I had the opportunity to coach. And then I left University of Chicago Lab School, went to Paul Robeson on the south side of Chicago,
Mm-hmm.
coached there for a couple of years, had success there. And then I had a chance to coach at Percy L. Julian High School, which is also on the south side of Chicago. Coached there for a couple of years, had really good success there. And then after leaving Julian, I came here to Christ the King, right? And I've been here. This is going on my 8th year here at Christ the King. This will be my last stop coaching basketball. I won't be anywhere else. And we've been able to do some amazing things while we've been here, man. Some amazing things, some amazing accomplishments. Had the opportunity to coach some great young men and have a great administration and school community that backs you. So yeah, so really honored to be the head varsity coach here, and yeah, looking to some more great things coming in the next, this year and maybe beyond. So
Cool, because we gonna get straight into that. Your tenure here at Christ the King. Like you said, you've been here for 8 years, and honestly, when you first came here, you basically changed the game. I ain't gonna get into all psychological stuff right now, but we're
hmm
gonna talk about that later.
hmm
Right now, I kind of want to get into just like accolades and like your first impressions coming here. So when you came here, or when you got the call, what ideas did you have in mind to set when it came to just being a coach at Christ the King? And I guess like that first tryout,
hmm
that first game, what were your ideas or plans you have involved to get the ball rolling with the school?
That's a good question. So I was impressed with the school. I feel like I was called to come here to Christ. Again. I feel like you're called to come to certain places. I think it's a ministry. It's God driven. It's God ordained. So I feel like I was called to come here to Christ the King. When I first got here to the school for my interview, one of the things that impressed me about the school was the school culture. Right, it was a school that you could tell was really um, predicated and on giving an individual student a great spiritual foundation, a great academic foundation, and they were looking to try to make a holistic change in their athletic department. Right, they're looking to give the student also a good athletic experience. Right,
Mm-hmm.
and so came here, was very impressed with the school community administration. In the first year here, we were able to do some good things here in that regard. We won, 19 games my first year here. We took over a program that had won, I think 7 games the year before. You know what I mean? The first year we almost won 20 games in that regard. So that was, a good feat. And we just started building. We had some building blocks and some people and some players here. Several players that come to my mind. I don't want to miss any of my players, but we had some key players like Armani Jones and um, Christian Washington and other individuals that kind of helped us build this program, right, in that regard. And then we just took necessary steps every year to get better. We got better and better each year. I had a vision when I came here. I realized that this was a good opportunity to do something at a school that had never been done before. Christ the King wasn't really known for, um, boys basketball in that regard in the city and the state. And I'm
Especially
not,
in the West Side, because
yeah.
you got Marshall out here, St. Mel,
Mm-hmm.
also becoming a real challenge when it came to just sports. Then you move on further south, though, you got North Lawndale, you got
Mm-hmm.
Collins,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Michelle Clark right around the
Michelle Clark
corner.
over there too.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Mm-hmm.
for us to take a span of several years, especially 8 years, when I'm gonna be honest with you, when that change, offensive planning had came in, and for us to be contenders, those past for 8 years, that's really a good thing to do.
No, I appreciate that. Yeah, and I mean it's funny you said that because that was one of the things that was my vision when I came here because I said, there's no school in the North Lawndale, Austin area that was offering what Christ the King was offering, right?
Hmm.
We had the great academics, great spiritual, foundation, facilities were good,
Right.
and it was a good opportunity for this, area in that regard. And there was no other
Hmm.
educational rendering like Christ the King had here. And I think that's, has bode well for us in that regard. And so we've been able to be successful and get kids who, you know, in the past historically would have gone to those schools you're talking about, right? But now they view Christ the King as a viable option, you know what I mean? Which is really good for us in that regard. So we've been extremely successful, man. We've been extremely successful. We've made our mark in the state. We've made our mark in the city. We've definitely made our mark on the west side of Chicago, and so really this is what I envisioned when I came here. I
Hmm.
envisioned, building a championship level program that was not just winning basketball games, but we also were producing great young men, right? Young
Hmm.
men leaving here, going on to play college basketball, going on to do different things and using basketball as a vehicle for that. That's what I envisioned. And I envisioned a school community that was amped and psyched and hyped about having a good basketball program. That's where we are now. So I'm happy where we are today. When I look back and look at this tenure, this is what I envisioned where we are. So
Yeah, because for when I asked Miss Olsen about like how she came within Christ the King's culture, when I first met you, when I first tried to do like tryouts and stuff like that, it was one of those things where it's like I've always been paternity to, like you changed the culture of Christ the King. To where it's like he was kind of like not like laid back, like we knew what we wanted to do, and we know we had the power to do it. But you with that glue that was like, you got it, so get on it.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of the culture that you put in with the guys because every coach yells, every coach, you know, I ain't gonna say every coach degrades. Coaches gotta get their point
Yeah. Yeah.
across.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the way you did it was more like I'm just the messenger. Y'all know what to do,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like honestly, like I don't know how you did it, man. I don't know how you did it, but like to take these same boys who's usually in the same financial, physical, mental situation
mm-hmm.
and show them like if you want to be the man, I can teach you, but I'm not gonna go out there and hold your hand.
Mm-hmm.
So to instill that to all of these guys, past, present, and I wish the future,
Mm-hmm.
um, that's also a great accolade because like you to your point, a lot of these guys are doing a lot of stuff, outside of basketball where they still, making their money or they following their dreams. Or like you saying, a lot of my friends that I grew up with, within the program, they still playing ball at a high level, but they still in college doing
Mm-hmm.
basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And to your point again, a lot of schools, when guys are done with basketball, what else do they got?
Yeah, yeah, that's a great point you made. I mean, you asked a question about how we did it. I mean, it was first of all, the help of God. You can't do nothing without Him. But one, but then two, you know, we just build a foundation of excellence, man. And like, how we did that is that we just didn't take any shortcuts. I mean, in order to build a successful championship level, program or anything, you got to go through the proper steps, right? And the proper steps, which is hard work, dedication, installing discipline. In
Mm-hmm.
that regard, I'm a big component of that. All my kids, whoever played for me, any team, anybody's ever played me will tell you. I always say, if we don't have discipline, we have nothing, right? If we don't
Exactly.
have
Yeah.
discipline and structure, we don't have anything. So we created an atmosphere and a culture for discipline and structure, where the kids hold themselves accountable. We
Mm-hmm.
as coaches hold them accountable. You know what I mean? Not just to do what they need to do on the court, but also outside the court, right? And so it's just having a championship mentality, and that's well beyond basketball. It's about being a champion in the classroom, being a champion in the school community, being a champion, you know what I mean, in your local vicinity, right? It's just
Mm-hmm.
leading and being a champion and having championship habits, right? And that is getting stuff done every day, making sure you work hard, making sure you take care of your business, making sure you keep your nose clean, you know what I mean, making sure that you're being a vital part of what you're doing in your community, school community, your place where you live, and all that. So we've created that here where we have young men who understand what it means to be in our program. And it's a
Mm-hmm.
privilege, you know what I mean? We've had a lot of kids now have come through here, been successful. Like you said, a lot of your classmates have gone on, played college ball, played overseas, all those different things. But the kids know there's an expectation now. You come to Christ the King, there's an expectation, right?
Mm-hmm.
The expectation you're going to be a part of this student body. There's a certain way you got to carry yourself. You know what I mean? If you're going to be a part of our basketball programs, a certain way you got to carry yourself. So I really pride ourselves on we've changed it how we did it. We just changed the culture. We changed the
Mm-hmm.
culture and instilled some things that we knew would be successful, a championship level culture. And people use that word culture as a buzzword, and all, but it's big. It's huge. It's really, to me, culture is you establish something that has sustainability and longevity, right? It's not just for today. It's something that's going to be built upon the future. You asked about the future. So my thing is, whenever I do stop coaching, we've created a culture here now that the next coach will come in and hopefully be able to follow what we've done to keep the success going, right?
Mm-hmm.
Culture is, you know, having things in place that everybody knows what it is to be successful. And I ain't got to be here in order for that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And so that's how I view that. I should be able to come to one of my practices, and at a certain time, things are already taken care of because our kids know that's just what we do, right? That to me is what culture building is. So.
Speaking of practice and definitely speaking of culture, a thing you always had your boys do is to play other sports
Mm-hmm.
before the
Mm-hmm.
basketball season
Big component of that.
came into it. I did cross country.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of other ones did like football, basketball. Um, Looking back, I definitely understand why you had us play those different sports when it
Mm-hmm.
came to just like having that, physical. I don't know how to put the word in.
This fortitude and
Yeah.
stamina and toughness to be able to do different things. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
I'm a big component of kids playing multi-sport. I think it teaches you so many different things. You know, like I said before, I played in high school. I played football. I played basketball. I played baseball when I was in high school, and I promote that. I think it teaches you a lot about, you know, who you are, being able to have good time management, being committed to a team, being committed to a purpose, and all that. And then, finally, you just never know where God may lead you. You know, if you give yourself several opportunities to be successful, you don't know which one of those opportunities is going to make you successful, right? So what I mean by that is you're playing football, you're playing basketball, you're playing baseball. You never know where God may lead you, that it may be your avenue for you to be blessed. So try to do as much as you can while you can.
And I forgot the component that you also make sure your boys don't have less than, I think you said, like a 2.0.
No, they got this year. We raised that even last year. You know, our GPA standing now is 2.3. We
Okay,
got a 2.3. But the good thing about it is that like even as of today, I checked grades on yesterday. Right now, we potentially for individuals who are going to be potential players on our team this year. I mean, our team GPA is around like a 3.2.
that's
You know what
fantastic.
I mean? So we've elevated that. We've raised the bar. You know what I mean with that, and so really proud of where the kids are right now. But that's a part of culture, right? The kids know, okay, it's a 2.3, but that's the bare minimum. Let's do better than that. So we made a goal as a team to have a 3.0. You know what I mean GPA, and I just checked it the other day, and right now we're at about a 3.2 cumulative team GPA, which I'm really proud of.
So I don't know if a lot of people can see, but y'all got banners now.
Yeah, yeah, we got a lot of banners, we got a lot of trophies.
When y'all come into the school, y'all see trophies and stuff like that. Everybody got trophies. Christ the King has banners now.
Yeah,
So let's talk about that real quick. Both those 250 and 300 career wins. Anybody can say like, oh, this was just a product of the team being good, but it's definitely more than that. What is going on inside your mind, inside these kids, not kids, teenagers' mind, to just stay committed to the game?
yeah. I mean, like I said, championship level, we do have banners. We do have multiple hardware here, which is something we pride ourselves on. Those wins. I'm getting close to. I'm coming up on 350 this year, right in that regard, which is a milestone. And so, um, the thing is that it's a combination of the coaches who I've been fortunate enough to have on my staff, the players I've been fortunate enough to be able to coach, the administration that supported me. You can't do that. You don't build a championship culture with one person. It takes an organization to do that,
Mm-hmm.
right? So from our top on down, from our president to Ms. Olson, our principal, to our athletic director, Mr. Joyner, on down. I mean,
Cheerleaders too.
every cheerleaders, everybody, right? They're an important part of what we're doing, So we made history, this past year. We're the first team in CTK history to go to state. Went to state this year. Got a third place finish in state. I still think we were the best 2A school down there. We had one bad quarter, but still, yeah, now we got a chance to go to Champaign, which is always a dream of mine as a coach. I don't take that lightly. I've been doing this for a while, almost 20 years. I got a lot of colleagues and a lot of um, fellow coaches who I have great admiration and respect for, who have never got a chance to play for a state championship, right?
Mm.
Not saying that takes nothing away from them as a coach, because they're great coaches, legendary coaches, but they've never been downstate, right? And so for me to be able to do that this past year was a blessing for me. I don't take that lightly, and it was a bucket list of mine when I started coaching. I always wanted to play for a state championship, but with that, it makes the drive and hunger more. Now we want to get back, and that's our goal this year, is to get back, and not just get back and this time win a third place. We want to win the whole thing. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So that's the goal this year.
Talk more about that 2025 season, or that 2024-2025 season, because man, day after day, it's just y'all got one trophy, y'all got another trophy, y'all go to this tournament, dominate, y'all go to that tournament, dominate. Now y'all the first squad for Christ the King to, like you said, go to Champagne. So just talk about like all the hard work and appreciation you have for everybody involved in that.
Yeah, man. Like I said, it's a community. It's just all the players, our team last year. Those kids, have been with me majority of them 4 years. We came up short the year before that. We were a game away from state the year before that. You know what I mean? Lost a heartbreak about 1 point. So our kids, they took this past off season, they took it very serious. We had a hunger, we had a thirst, we had a drive. We knew we had let a chance go away the year before. We thought we were good enough to go the year before. We thought we were able to go good enough to go 2 years in a row. We came a little bit short the year before. So last year's off season and that senior group, we had 8 seniors on that group, right? Who had 7 of them were in that game and tasted that loss and realized how heart wrenching it was, and they just took it personal. And we came back with a vengeance, and then we completed our mission. I mean, we got down there. I mean, yeah, we wanted to win it all. We were a quarter away from winning the whole thing, right? But the thing is that we got down there and we got a chance to understand what it takes to get down there and to win down there too. We actually won a game down there. We split. We won the game, lost the game. So it's a maturation process. So now it's about that next step. Let's take that next step. We know what it takes. We know what we got to do. It's never easy, but we got a roadmap now.
Mm-hmm.
So we think we can, if everything goes where it needs to go, we think we have another good opportunity. So.
Cool. Couple more questions before we dip up out of here. Um, as you always know, like we kind of went on this before. Um, the culture here, with our boys and how we, come together as a community.
Mm-hmm.
I've always had this theory where it's like coaches are, especially for black men, are like their first to second male figure they get
Mm-hmm.
to experience, especially with like our generation and several generations where most families are split.
Mm-hmm.
A male person is in the house, but we found them at school.
Yeah,
For you personally, you are that male figure to a lot of us, whether you know it or you don't.
appreciate that.
So, how is it being that male figure part of men's life, and how does that mean to you?
I mean, I take a lot of pride and responsibility with that, right? So I understand that everything you just said. I understand. I understand this is bigger than basketball. That's why I'm still coaching. You know what I mean? In that regard, because it's really to influence lives, right? And try to change lives and try to do different things to kind of help individuals, especially young men in their trajectory, you know what I mean, and trying to get from, high school into adulthood. So that's a big part of what we do. I always remind our coaches, like, let's make the main thing, right? The main thing is, yeah, championships are good, winning is good, the notoriety is good, the credibility is good, the accolades are nice and all that. But at the end of the day, our main focus is developing young men, right? That's what we've been called to do. That's not losing, you know what I mean, the content of what we're doing, right? So we take pride in that. We realize the school where we are, realize the young men who we coach, that society deems them as at-risk youth, and we know that we play a huge part in their development. We know for a lot of our young men, they have an absent father or absent male figure in their life, so we try to stand proxy in that. You know what I mean? And serve as that somewhat. So it's important. You know what I mean? It's important. That's our mission. That's our ministry. That's our mandate. That's what we got to do. So we keep doing that. We always, even throughout the season, there's highs and lows, and as coaches, we go through highs and lows. But as coaches, we always come together, and we're a really tight knit coaching community. Me and my coaches, we always come together and just make sure we realize what we're really doing, because it's really bigger than the basketball. It's about changing these young lives. So we take pride in that and
As you
responsibility with
should.
that. You got one more?
I got one more because
Okay,
it's starting to get
I ain't
loud.
go to practice yet. I mean,
So
workout. So
for this final one, man, it's just like y'all finna find out right now that they finna get their season started, and we finna get a whole new group of boys getting ready to play some elite basketball. What do you have to say to them about you
mm.
and about these next few games and going to Champagne?
It's a whole new year. That's one thing we got to take care of when we start next week. It's a whole new year. Um, we gotta get our kids this year to realize that this is a whole new year, and what we did last year, even though it was great, it was historic and all that. Everybody starts 0-0,
Mm.
and for the last, I can honestly say for the last 6 years, we become the hunted and not the hunter. We used to be the hunter. My first 2 years, we were hunting. We were trying to get our name. We were trying to get our reputation. We were trying to get our respect. The last 5 to 6 years, we become the hunted. So everybody knows about us. We're not sneaking up on anybody. Everybody in the state knows about us, in the city, in the area, on the west side, they all know about us. So we got a mark on our back, and we've been successful. So our kids got a chance to see that this off season. We played in the summer, played in the dead period, played in the fall and all that. They got a chance to see that. And so we're just hoping that they've learned from that and realized that everything that happened last year was good, but this is a brand new year. They got to carve their own niche. They got to make their own history. They gotta do their own thing. So that's gonna be our message. We'll get it across to them.
Well, like I said again, thank you for joining the Save Our Stories podcast and listening to one of my male role models growing up. Um, Godspeed, God bless, and as Master P always says.
Master P,
All
my man.
right, man. We
God
out.
bless. All right, you remember that, man. That's so awesome.